Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ben Lewis, the Communications and Marketing Manager for NAPFA, and I am going to tell you about how you can leverage your fee-only advantage. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go through some various opportunities that have been developed by NAPFA for you to market your own practice. On top of that, what we've done is we've also are going to provide you some ideas for things that you can do within your own markets to, again, leverage your fee-only advantage. But before we start, what I wanted to do is take you through kind of a lay of the landscape as it is currently out there. And the bottom line is that we are all at a great disadvantage. And I'm going to show you exactly why. And this is really about fee-only planners being at a great disadvantage. You know, financial services is the third largest advertising industry behind automobiles and telecommunications. And again, this is just to kind of give you an idea as to kind of what all of you are up against as independent fee-only planners. Financial services advertising dropped from $5 billion to less than $4 billion from 2008 to 2009. But that was still $1 billion more than retailers, food and beverage, restaurants, and personal care products. That's a huge amount of money. And it just shows you how much money is being pumped into advertising to get in front of the consuming public. Now, according to Ad Age in 2010, 4 of the 10 largest ad spenders were in financial services and insurance. They included American Express, or Ameriprise. That was $2 billion that they spent. JP Morgan Chase, we all know about them because they're in the news for not such great things right now. They spent $1.9 billion. Progressive, and I know this is, not your typical, what we think of as their competition, but the fact is that they're still an insurance entity, and that is still clogging the airwaves. And that's $743 million spent. Capital One spent $678 million. Now, Cantor Media reports that 4 of the top 10 Google advertisers in 2011 were financial insurance companies. That includes Capital One that spent $26 million. That's just on Google advertising. That's a huge sum of money. Progressive spent $19 million. Geico spent $16.5 million. And State Farm spent $16.2 million. Now, Interactive Advertising Bureau, the IAB, reports that in 2010, more than $26 billion is spent on internet advertising. And 12% of that, or $3.2 billion, was from financial service companies. That's more spent than automotive, computing, consumer packaged goods, entertainment, and the media. So, again, they're out there, they're spending a ton of money to get in front of the consuming public. This, again, is what you're up against. Now, here's the other challenge. The RIA space is getting in the promotion game. You have the CFP board, which obviously a lot of NAPFA members are CFPs, and this campaign obviously benefits you. But their focus isn't on fee only. Their focus is on CFP certificates. Their advertising campaign is for $14 million. You also have Schwab with their RIA Stands For You campaign. And now, while, again, these may benefit you, they dilute the message of fee only, which is clearly our biggest differentiator. So, here's our challenge. If Ameriprise, Merrill Lynch, and Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, and even famous actors like this gentleman that we all know, are out there promoting the competition, then we have an uphill battle. And this is why we all need to get together. Now, here's some quick math that we pulled together that kind of shows you one of the big opportunities that we have. Right now there's an estimated 600,000 professionals who provide some kind of financial or insurance service. Only 12,000 of those would even qualify for NAPFA membership. And again, that's based on NAPFA's very high standards. That is 2%. That's only 2% of the profession, of people in this industry, will even qualify to call themselves a NAPFA member. And here's the big part. You are part of that 2%. That is a huge opportunity. And that's 2% that is fee-only, fiduciary, comprehensive, competent, client-centered, experienced, credentialed, and everything else that you can think of that makes NAPFA members unique from the competition. And that 2% stands for something better in the profession. You all stand for something better in the profession. So, what opportunities exist for you to communicate that you're part of that 2%? Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to go through really a couple different pieces here. Marketing opportunities, and some of these are going to be NAPFA-generated marketing opportunities. And then we're going to have what I'm calling you-generated marketing opportunities. And then we're also going to do the same thing for PR. So let's talk about the marketing opportunities that are NAPFA-generated. Hopefully, everyone at this point has already seen our fee-only 24/7 program. I think it's a great program. We've been putting a lot of work into it over the last year. And it's going to be something that I think could really help all of you understand how you can approach your own marketing and promotion. At the present time, we have 5 modules. We have this first module on PR and media relations. Our second module, Module 2, is on marketing. Module 3 is on leveraging the NAPFA brand in your own marketing. Module 4 is branding and graphic design. And Module 5 is social media. And Fee-Only 24/7 is basically, it's a 7-module program, like I just showed you, where we have 5 modules out. We're going to be working on 2 other primary modules. That doesn't mean we're just going to stop there. We're always going to be seeing what new content we can add to this. The idea is that these are all going to be released over a 12-month period, or as close to that as we can get. And each module covers a vital aspect of communications. And again, the 7 modules include PR and media, marketing, leveraging the NAPFA brand, social media and blogging, branding and graphic design. Those are the 5 that we already have available. The other 2, communications and multimedia, are going to be released over the next few months. So let's kind of take a little bit of a look at what you might find inside one of these modules. And this is specifically a table of contents for Module 2 on marketing that we actually did with Marie Swift, who's really kind of become known within the financial advisory space as kind of the marketing guru. In this module, Marie really breaks out some really interesting pieces. You know, the 3 M's of marketing, 1-year business assessment, the 1-year marketing program, how to define your market, how to create your message, how to develop your materials and mediums. And then she gets into working up your marketing calendar, and then how you can actually approach fishing for yourself. So this, again, just kind of gives you an idea of some of the content you're going to find in one of these modules. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits of a marketing plan. And these are specifically things that Marie actually touches on. You know, it's a clear understanding of the types of clients you are best suited to serve. It defines the unique value of your firm and how you can bring that to serve the clients relative to your competitors. Identify specific barriers you may be facing. Track and make adjustments to your plan accordingly. Identify the most appropriate tactics for your firm. Lining up the right resources and executing them effectively. And it stops you from wasting valuable resources via uncoordinated marketing effort. You know, that's one of the biggest things that I've heard in my work over the last 7 years now with NAPFA members, is that a lot of you tend to spin your wheels, spend time doing things that you thought might have some marketing value, but they really haven't paid off. So what developing a plan will do is actually help you hone in on those things that do actually add revenue and do help you guys generate some awareness. Module 3 on leveraging the NAPFA brand, I wanted to highlight this because it's a little bit different than the others. You know, in this we talk about the NAPFA brand messages, the NAPFA visual brands. But here's where it really kind of is a little bit different than everything else. Rather than just be a program from some expert in the field, and in this case it was me, what we actually did is we wanted to tap into 4 members, 4 longtime NAPFA members who have successfully leveraged the NAPFA brand in their own work. So like Gary Chatsky, for instance, you know, talked about leveraging the brand with the media. That was something he really brought to NAPFA, was helping elevate the NAPFA stature among the media. So he kind of talks a little bit about how he does it and what members can do to do that. There's also Mike Leonetti on leveraging the brand with prospects. Peg Downey talks about leveraging the brand with existing clients. And Richie Lee talks about leveraging it, not leveraging it, but talks about the past and the future of the message. and what we all need to be keeping in mind as we're out there doing this. So again, that's another module that's available. Now, within the leveraging the NAPFA brand, one of the things we wanted to talk about was NAPFA Find Your Advisor Profile. And I do want to say that Anthony Alloy, our member coordinator, is a terrific resource specifically in this idea of your Find Your Advisor Profile. He's actually also created a presentation specifically on this topic. And I do encourage all of you to go to log into the NAPFA website and check out his presentation specifically on this topic. I think you're going to find it very helpful. But here are some things. Like, one of the things that I've always heard from NAPFA members is, well, what can I do to actually make my profiles just stand out a little bit more than everybody else? And one thing that you will notice, if you just simply did a search for your zip code and you looked at other NAPFA members within some kind of proximity of your office, and you read their profiles, I will guarantee you're going to see a lot of similarities. Everyone starts off by talking about how they're a fee-only for the planner, how they held themselves to a fiduciary standard, how they do comprehensive planning, and they provide retirement planning and financial planning services for a specific audience. That's kind of the way that all of you guys are wired. I mean, that's just kind of how you guys want to communicate who you are. But in order to get a consumer who's going to come to your profile to really understand how you're different, you need to frame your profile in a different way. So let's go through these different steps. And this is right in the Leveraging the NAPFA Brand module that we have developed. And again, that's module 3 in the series. First, go to your NAPFA Find an Advisor. All right? Go in there. Type in your zip code and hit search. Click on the names of the member firms that come up in the area. Review the profiles and note what they say. Just kind of jot down some notes on some kind of similarities that you're seeing. Identify the consistencies in the messaging. What is everybody else saying? And then look at your profile. What are you saying? And find how what you're saying is just like everybody else. Identify the language that sounds like other profiles, and then remove the similar language, or rewrite your profile to be a little bit more unique and different. Then post that new profile and see if more traffic is just simply generated. And it's important, and I like to say that your Find an Advisor profile is not like the Ron Popeil. It's not a Ron Popeil type of thing. Ron Popeil has the the rotisserie ovens and everything, and his big thing was set it and forget it. That's not what you need to do. It's much like you guys. We can even equate this to having a 401k plan. Let's speak your language. You all believe, and I would venture to guess that you all believe that quarterly, at least a few times a year, people need to go in and rebalance their 401k to make sure it's still working for them. It's very much the same thing with your Find an Advisor profile. Go in on a fairly frequent basis and review it and make sure it's really saying everything that it can potentially say. And then make those adjustments. Just don't set it and forget it. Couple big things to take away here. All right, you have 20 seconds. In the online world, people will visit a web page for 20 seconds. If they don't have the information slammed right in front of them that's going to make them understand how you're different and unique, they're going to go on to somebody else. So you have that first 20 seconds. So don't lead off your profile with a bunch of information that may not really help convey who you are. Really kind of set it up right in the very beginning of, this is what you do, and this is how you help the consumer, the end user. Focus on the prospect. It's very easy for you to sit there and kind of focus on yourself. I've got a degree from Dartmouth, and I do X, Y, and Z. Don't make that the focus. Make the focus on the prospect. Why is it that they are going to reach out to you? What is it that you want them to understand about you, about how you can help them? Get the prospect thinking about their own personal situation. This is your opportunity as well to say, we specifically work with people who are facing these kinds of challenges. And this is what we do to help them with these challenges. When you say those kinds of things, it gets them reflecting on their own personal challenges and whether or not that might be a good match for you. Identify what the prospect's pain. Maybe you specialize in helping people who are coming into large sums of money, whether it's divorce or they have a spouse that passes away and they're coming into a large inheritance, or maybe there's big insurance claims or something like that. If that's what you do, identify with that. Make people understand you've specifically worked in that area. Use all the various bells and whistles, and this is something that Anthony, I'm sure, can talk to you all about. But Barron Financial Group actually has a video on their profile. And I'm not sure exactly how they did it, but maybe Anthony can help you understand a little about that. Have a picture on your profile. I've seen a lot of profiles that don't have a photo. Personalize your profile. Make people understand that you're more than just the words on the page, but you're actually a person. So have a good picture that is representative of who you are. And remember, and I say this again, your profile on Find an Advisor should never be considered the major thing you do in marketing. It just shouldn't be. And I hear a lot of NAPFA members say, well, I get 90% of my new business through Find an Advisor. That should never be the case. Find an Advisor is an add-on. It's something that can help support what you're currently doing in your marketing and promotion. It should never be the end-all, be-all. And just so you all know where you can go get your Fee-Only 24/7 modules, actually, if you go to napfa.org, you log in, then you're going to go to Member Resources and then Market Your Firm. Under Market Your Firm, you're going to click on the Fee-Only 24/7 heading, and then you'll go into this page. When you go to this page, you'll be able to scroll down through this, and for instance, you'll see the front cover of the Public Relations module. If you click that, you'll actually be able to download the PDF module directly to your desktop. And then you can also, click here to listen to the webinars, and click here to download the presentation, and so on. So we're gonna constantly be updating this content. We're gonna be adding new pieces on, adding new content. So definitely be checking back because things will be changing. Real quick, I want to talk about NSphere. NSphere is a company that increases NAPFA and member visibility online. Here's how. They create local web pages for high-quality brands that are identifiable through Google. And now what they do is they create thousands of search terms that are associated with those pages to make them easily found. And the pages include content partners to make pages dynamic, which makes them SEO friendly. So we're going to look at a couple of examples here in a minute. But NAPFA NSphere partners with top brands, and what they do is they actually created branded pages for them. So, for instance, they work with like Kiplinger and NBC and JD Power and Associates and Minionville and NAPFA and many more. And so sometimes what you may actually stumble across on Google searches is a page that might say local.napfa.org or local.kiplinger.com. Those are pages that are branded by NSphere, and they're all done through, they basically have their whole staff there. They create these branded pages, and then our data, so our members actually populate those different pages. And we're going to show you actually a couple of examples here in a minute. So this would be like an example of a search. So if you were to type like NAPFA Bethesda, Maryland, or NAPFA Chicago, Illinois, or NAPFA Columbus, Ohio, any one of these kinds of terms, you might stumble upon a series of pages that might just come up like this. What you're going to see here is local.napfa.org, this page here. And this actually is Registered Investment Advisor Frederick, Maryland. What they actually found at NSphere is that people do searches based on what they need and where they need it. So whether you're looking for a new windshield replacement, or you're looking for a good mechanic, or you're looking for a financial planner, I'm actually based here in Clarksburg, Maryland. If I'm looking for a financial planner, I might type in financial advisor, financial planner, or fee-only planner, and say Clarksburg, Maryland, or Montgomery County, Maryland, or something similar to that. And so when they put that in, these local pages pop up. And you can go to like local.goodfinancialsense.com, NAPFA Registered Financial Advisors in Waldorf, Maryland. And when you click on those, and here's another example, NAPFA Alexandria, Virginia. You've got Family Financial Planners Alexandria, Virginia. That's a local page. Chances are NAPFA members are going to be populated on that. Local.goodfinancialsense.com, another one. Here's a local.napfa.org, and so on. So if it says local, chances are it's one of these NSphere pages. And now, this is what one-handed NAPFA pages looks like. It looks just like a NAPFA website, but up here you'll notice it says local.napfa.org. It's Registered Investment Advisor in Frederick, Maryland, which is 10 minutes up the road from me. And here's a bunch of people within, I think it's set for like a 20 or 30-mile radius. So these are all planners who are NAPFA members. So it's all data provided by NAPFA, and these are all here. And so you can actually hover over these, view for more information, and you can get additional content on these people. You can actually reach out and contact these people, whether it's through going to their website or giving them a call. So again, these are all set up to make it easy for people to find who they're looking for. Again, this is another one, Certified Financial Planner, Washington, D.C. And again, it pulls up a bunch of names of NAPFA members in and around the area. And again, Certified Financial Planner, Arlington, Virginia. And here's one of the Kiplinger pages. And this is actually very cool. And there's nothing we can do about this section here where you see local companies. This is actually paid advertising right here. But from Kathleen Hastings, Memu Nathani, Mary Malvar, Susan Fulton, and down, these are all NAPFA paid. These are all NAPFA members. And this is simply, I think this is a Google search for, Roth IRA, Bethesda, Maryland. And this is the page that came up for Kiplinger. And what's cool about this is it has NAPFA members' names associated with a trusted brand in Kiplinger. So again, this is just a way for us to further get NAPFA member names out there. Now let's go on to NAPFA, the power of trust. And again, this is about a year ago we came up with this new theme, this new brand that included the power of trust name, the new logo, and so on. And what we wanted to do is create some collateral that members can use to help market this idea of the power of trust. So these are actually 8.5 by 11 documents, and these are just PDF files that you can download and you can print off. You can do whatever you want with them. But financially, these are some of the things. Financial advisors should not have to be rewarded for being trustworthy. It should be what defines them. These are kind of core messages. Beacon for objective financial advisors. It's more than lip service. You got standard bearer for the profession. It's more than lip service. All financial advisors should be open books, but conflicts of interest are not always communicated. So again, what we're attempting to do is kind of take our power of trust message and put it into some collateral that the members can use. You also have, this is really not clear, but these are two different flyers. The first one is an 8.5 by 11. The bottom one is actually a two-sided card. And again, it all basically reflects the same messages. We also created Power of Trust banners. And these are actually banner-sized things, so don't pay attention to the way they look on the screen because it's a little bit bigger than what you'll actually see. But these banners are also available for you to simply download off of the NAPFA website. And then you can just basically, when it says click to learn more, you can have it go over to Find an Advisor. You can have it go to the NAPFA website, whatever you want. And it's important to understand that we're all part of the power of trust. So consider using these different materials in your promotion and marketing. Try using them on your websites, and your newsletters, your marketing collateral, etc. And I do also want to say that the more members out there we can have helping communicate this message, the more it's going to resonate, the more people are going to see it. And I do want to say, here's an offer. If, well, let me go back. Here's an offer. I don't have a little slide there that says what the offer is. The offer is this. Say you like one of these flyers. If you're interested in having your logo put on one of these flyers, send me an email, send me a note. Say, Ben, I'd love to have my logo put on this flyer. If you send me your logo as an EPS or vector image, I can actually take your logo, stick it on the flyers, and send it to you, so that way you can actually use them with your own branding on those. I'm always happy to do that. It takes me 5 seconds to do it. So let's talk about some of the NAPFA collateral that's out there. Many of you have seen the Pursuit of a Financial Advisor Field Guide. Again, this is a soup to nuts guide for the public to find a financial advisor. It covers everything from where to look, how to look, questions to ask, and so on. And I would definitely say, consider making it available on your website. Download it and actually embed it on your website. Print it, distribute it. Again, this is it really is a terrific resource, and it's about 13 pages long. It really is, like I say, soup to nuts on everything of finding financial advice. There's also these two documents here. We have the Comprehensive Financial Advisor Checklist and the Comprehensive Financial Advisor Diagnostic, and these are meant to be used in tandem. So, one thing that we have encouraged consumers to do is to download the checklist. It's a real quick overview of an advisor's capabilities and their background, and tell your prospective advisors that you want them to fill this out, and then you take a look at it. And it might allow you to hone in on one specific advisor who you think is going to work best for you. If you find that advisor, then give them the diagnostic, which gets into the 26 questions, and then it also has an answer key of NAPFA recommended responses. And that's going to be really important because consumers, they're not going to know the way that some people should be answering these questions. So we wanted to kind of help them understand how people should be answering these questions. One thing that's actually really cool to do with these is download these, fill them out yourself, and then save them and make them available on your website, or put them in a prospect marketing package. Something so you can actually put these right in front of them and say, look, I've already taken the initiative to fill these things out. And it may actually get them to ask other advisors to consider doing the same thing. Videos. One thing that NAPFA does a lot of is we create different video content. And what's cool about videos is that if you can take some of these videos and put them on your website, it actually helps with SEO. It's called dynamic content. And really, video can also help make your site more of a destination, more of a place to go and learn. We've developed a whole bunch of videos that you can use, and our plan for the rest of this year is to develop many more. And actually, if you were to go to youtube.com/NAPFA videos, you'll see a whole bunch of videos that we have there. And then, here's another example. This is a great video that was developed by Wall Street Journal and Smart Money. What's cool about this video is it's almost like a third-party endorsement of NAPFA. And actually, it's Gary Chatsky talking about how to find an advisor. One thing I want to point out here is when you go to the public side of the NAPFA website, you see this video, you can email it, get the link, or embed it. This is the key. If you click this little piece here about embedding, you can pull up the code for the video, and then you can actually embed the same video on your website or your blog. It's very easy to do. And again, YouTube, we talked about this, but you go to youtube.com for NAPFA videos. We've got a whole bunch of videos that are on here. That's me in all my glory, but I wanted to show you basically how you take a NAPFA video and embed it on your website. So we see this big red arrow right here, share. You're going to click that share button. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you the option for embedding. When you click this embed button, it's going to pull up this code right in here. If you highlight it and then hit copy, then you go into your website. You may have to work with your web developer, wherever you have it, but give them that web code. They'll be able to then embed the video directly on your website. So it's just an easy way to get video up on your site. These are user-generated. These are just a few ideas that you can use to approach marketing just a little bit differently. 1, create a collaborative marketing program. 2, establish a client advisory board. And 3, collaborate with other NAPFA members. So let's talk about a collaborative marketing program. Now, the idea is to establish relationships with other referral sources. And one of the best ways to do it, to get referrals, is to team up with attorneys, CPAs, and other professionals. Because if you can get one to refer you to their client base, it's a win-win. I mean, you could actually be doing the same thing. And that's kind of this whole idea of collaboration. The idea is to create a program to share educational content with each other's client base while indirectly creating referrals for you and them. One thing is that a lot of people today, the idea of being referred may not always be comfortable, but if you can be presented as an expert, as an education source to an attorney's or CPA's client base, then they will naturally call you because they've had some exposure to you and your knowledge. So the idea is to create kind of a collaborative type marketing type program. And this is basically how it works. You have the collaboration here in the middle. Here's you. And let's say you have articles, presentations, a website, a blog, a newsletter. You have different kinds of communication tools that you use for your clients. Up here's the attorney. They have all the same things. Here's a CPA, and they have all these same communication vehicles. The idea is for all 3 of these professionals to come together and collaborate. Now, the idea would be that you guys would actually maybe do writing for each other's newsletters. You might have a great financial planning topic that you want to cover, and what you can do is maybe create an article for the attorney and for the CPA to use in their newsletter to their clients. And then what you offer to them is you offer to the attorney to have them write a piece on, maybe they've got something on estate planning or identity theft or contracts or something that you think your clients might like to hear about. You can publish their articles in your newsletter. Same thing with the CPA on different kinds of tax issues. Maybe what you guys can do is maybe plan a monthly webinar or a quarterly type presentation where maybe once each year you each do a presentation for your clients that highlights the other professionals. Invite the CPA or the attorney to come in and actually do a presentation on tax planning or come in and do something on estate planning. And then you are invited to go do something on financial planning or investments for the attorney's clients or for the CPA's clients. So it really is a true collaboration. And what's great about this is it really doesn't cost any money. It really doesn't, unless you do some big whoop-de-doo type of event someplace. It really doesn't. It's really about sharing your knowledge, being presented as an expert in the spirit of this collaboration with the attorney and the CPA to get in front of their client bases. And I've seen a couple people who have done this kind of thing, and it's actually worked really well. And again, the objective is to display your expertise with the intent on educating, creating an inferred recommendation for you and your services, driving traffic back to you, your content, your website, and then creating that indirect referral from the other professionals. That's the goal of it. Client advisory boards, and I know several NAPFA members who actually have these. It's a great way to get your clients active in your business, and they really do become a sounding board for you and your services. What's cool is that if you can get your clients actively involved in your business, you can actually get them to refer new clients. And the idea is that you can also engage different types of clients. So here's how I recommend maybe putting these things together. Put a board together that's no more than 10 clients, and then select these clients from different areas or from different demographics. So you want somebody who's young, somebody who's older, somebody of different professions, and so on. Maybe set up a face-to-face meeting once per year, and then maybe a quarterly conference call. And what you do is you really kind of, for lack of a better phrase, get naked. You basically share what your business is doing, review existing services, present new ideas, share ideas for marketing. One of the things that you could even do is maybe have your client advisory board visible on your website. You can have a picture of each member of your client advisory board and who they are, some information about them, because that kind of becomes a place where consumers who come to your website can maybe say, oh, look, Steve Jones is on his advisory board. He's actually here in my area. I might actually try to reach out to him and find out what it's like to work with X, Y, and Z financial advisory. So it's a good way to kind of get them working. The other thing that I want to do is, talk about collaborative with other NAPFA members. Collaborate with other NAPFA members is what that should say. And here's what I'm going to say, is that, there's enough business for everyone, especially considering we're all part of the 2%. I know a lot of people sometimes are kind of hesitant about, the idea of collaborating with other NAPFA members in their local market because, they don't want to work with the competition. But you really should consider it. I mean, we're all in this together. I mean, we're an organization of 2,500 people, and there's 600,000 professionals out there. So there's more than enough business to go around. And the idea is that we can all collaborate together in our own local markets to do some things, then we might have an opportunity to kind of, make a dent in our own markets. Sharing some of the advertising marketing costs in a local market. We've got the new advertising campaign that we're doing with Clark Howard and NPR. We've made the radio ads, the banners that we're doing, available to all of you. So why not maybe pull a couple members together in your own local area and say, hey, look, we've got these radio ads. Let's see if we can go to one of the local radio stations. We each contribute $500 or $1,000. We run these things for a few months. Maybe we can drive some traffic to finding an advisor to come and visit us. Sharing the workload to create new programs and initiatives. Maybe put on some educational sessions that you conduct at the local library with other NAPFA members in the local market. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I will say, but some guys in Houston, Texas did something. We also had some members in Hilton Head who have done this kind of thing where they kind of collaborated together, and it's actually turned out to work real well. So don't frown on the idea of working with the competition, considering that our competition within NAPFA is better than what the rest of the industry is out there doing. So let's talk about some PR opportunities that are NAPFA generated. And again, we talked about the Fee Only 24/7 program, but what I want to do is do a little bit of a deeper dive into the module that we did on public and media relations. In this module, we kind of talk about everything. We talk about how it's about reports, about building media reports, about building a relationship with the media. It's not about, I like to say it's not about being a source, it's about becoming a resource. A resource is going to be a member who's going to be contacted over and over and over and over again by a reporter because they trust you. A source is somebody who's just quoted once. So you want to go from being a source to becoming a resource. We talk about pitching and mastering the pitch and the media take on pitching, the best of pitching, the worst of pitching. And then the last part here, Section 9, which is The tools of report building, these are things like sample press releases and sample pitches and how to develop a media schedule and, I mean, everything. So we wanted to make this kind of soup to nuts, what you can do to make yourself more visible to the media. And it's all based around this idea, and this is something I developed several years ago. And this is really called the building blocks of media report, all right? And each one of these is kind of the cornerstone. So the idea of pitching is a cornerstone, respect is a cornerstone, message is a cornerstone, skills. And so pitching is made up of 4 key building blocks. You know, the idea of having passion, identification, development, distribution. Respect is deadlines, beats, newsworthiness, and process. Message is comprised of differentiation, audience, your verbal brand, your persistence. And your skills is interviewing, writing, speaking, and your knowledge, your wisdom. And when you put all of these things together, you can have a strong foundation of media report. But if your writing is lacking or your ability to interview correctly is lacking, all you're doing is eroding the skills one, and you know what? This entire structure is going to collapse. So you want to have each one of these 16 building blocks as strong as possible. And that's really what this module is all about, is walking you through each one of these and how you can make sure each one of these is built to be strong and will actually work for you. One of the things I wanted to highlight here, and this is actually a page directly from the module, is this idea of effectively responding to NAPFA media requests. I do get calls from NAPFA members saying, hey, I responded to media requests all the time and I never hear back from anyone. Well, chances are you may not be responding to them in the right way. So what I want to do is kind of highlight a few things that you can do. First, don't wait. Understand these requests are going out to 1,500 NAPFA members. It's going out to all of our NAPFA registered financial advisors. So if you wait, chances are about 100 or 200 people have already responded to that request. So as soon as you get one of these things in, try to get your reply in as soon as possible. Send your initial thoughts. Don't just say, hey, give me a call, I can help you with this. That's never going to get on the reporter's radar. Actually put in some of your thoughts that's going to help them understand how you would phrase your response to the question at hand. And then, yes, right here, try to be original in your response. Don't regurgitate the same thing they can hear from, again, 1,500 NAPFA members. Try to be original. Try to think a little bit outside the box with your response. Number 3, pay attention to the deadline. We always put a deadline in there. Try to refrain from responding to one of these requests after the deadline. That just becomes an annoyance to reporters. You don't want to be an annoyance. You want to be helpful. So pay attention to that deadline. Pay attention to the topic. Don't stray from the topic. If they're specifically asking about the Facebook IPO and you want to respond to that, stick to that issue. Don't start throwing in a bunch of thoughts on some other random topics. It's just not going to do anything for you. Number 5, paint a picture. If you have let's say you have a client who you specifically worked on situation for, and you think that they could actually be a good interview, don't hesitate to ask that client if they'd be willing to talk with that reporter, or if at the very least say in your response email to the reporter, I actually had a client who came into my office the other day and they had the same exact situation. This is what we did to address it. That actually lets them know that you've personally dealt with that situation and that this is really a topic that is affecting real people. Provide all contact information. Give them different ways to reach you, whether it's your cell phone, your office, even if you want to give your home number, give your email, give your backup email, give your assistant's name and their direct number. Let them know all the different ways that they can reach you. It makes it that much easier. And always keep NAPFA in mind. It's one thing you need to understand. These requests are coming through NAPFA. They have a lot of trust in what NAPFA is about. That's why they reach out to NAPFA as much as they do. In your response, if you could ever reinforce the NAPFA message, reinforce the idea of fee only and fiduciary and everything else that we stand for, do it, because it's a good opportunity to, again, make sure they understand that NAPFA is a unique organization and you're part of that. FI Guide. FI Guide is a blogging platform created specifically for fee-only planners. We've had a relationship with them for over a year. Over that last year, it's grown from 25 contributors to more than 90. It's a great way to get your content out there, and I do want to say that FI Guide is now actually a property of NAPFA. NAPFA about 3 months ago has officially purchased FI Guide, so it's become and actually when you go there now, you'll actually see an updated FI Guide logo. You'll see the NAPFA logo over here. We've kind of taken out a lot of this paid advertising space here, but it's all about NAPFA now. And all of our contributors that come down through this section are all populating the content. So this is a great way for you to share your content. So if you want to write for Fi Guide, you just let me know, and I'll give you my email address here in a second. But, like Mike Chamberlain, let's say we're going to see Mike Chamberlain. Okay, Mike is a member of NAPFA out in California. He's got his little picture here. He's got his name. Here's a recent article for Mike that comes up, and these are the most recent articles here. If somebody clicks, how much should you save in your 401k? It opens up the article. So you have the full article here. But now it also expands more information about Michael Chamberlain. You can click here to visit his website. You can click here to email him, follow him on Twitter. You can connect with him on LinkedIn. It even has the NAPFA logo here. So this is actually a great way to help with your own personal search engine optimization, because this is all inbound linkage back to you. So that's very important. And if you want to sign up to do this, you can simply send an email to BizDev, that's BUSDEV @FiGuide.com, or send me an email at ben@bdlpr.com. Now that I'm kind of the full-time manager of Fi Guide, and I am learning as I go here, because it is kind of a complex system. If you want to contribute, you just let me know. Send me an email, say, Ben, I'd like to contribute. And what we can even do is work to set up an RSS feed. So let's say you have a blog of your own, or you have a newsletter. You could actually set up a feed to actually populate Fi Guide. So there's very little heavy lifting that you have to do. So just let us know. Forbes Fee-Only Planner blog. This is actually very cool. As you probably all heard at this point, NAPFA's got this relationship with Forbes in a couple different ways. This is actually an old screenshot, so it has the old NAPFA logo, but what we've set up is the Fee-Only Planner blog. And so this is a NAPFA branded blog that features NAPFA contributors. And so here you'll see some of our contributors, Brian Carlton, Don Martin, Don Whalen, Eve Kaplan, Kerry Mayo, Mark Schindler, Michael Chamberlain again, and some others. But we're always looking for some new contributors to this. The deal is that you have to be willing to contribute at least twice every month. And if you simply go to blogs.forbes.com, you'll see it up here, /fee-only-planner, you can go straight to the blog and skip through and look at some of the content, how NAPFA members are writing for it. It's very easy. If you're interested in this, all you have to do is, and I do want to point out again, Michael Chamberlain, he's on here. He's got a whole profile page on Forbes. I mean, that's the big thing, is that now you have your name associated with one of the most trusted brands in the media. And I want to say that Forbes gets about 43 million monthly visitors each month. That's huge. I mean, that's gigantic. So that's a lot of eyeballs that we can draw attention to you and to NAPFA. So, like I said, if you want to contribute, you want to have your profile, you want to be a contributor, all you have to do is send me an email. So just send me an email to ben@bdlpr.com, and I can make the introduction to Hala Toriali, who is the primary contact for our Forbes blog. TheStreet.com, one of the things that they've always said is they have an interest in NAPFA members writing for them. And so we've got some really good relationships with the senior editors at TheStreet.com. Huge website, lots of traffic. And they're interested in getting content from NAPFA members. And what's cool is that you can actually have byline content. So this points to, in your 50s, retirement saving is a marathon. Well, the byline is Greg Pleckner. And actually, when you click Greg's name, it gives you some information about Greg. But this is, again, is what's cool. Greg Pleckner is a CFP and principal at Modera Wealth Management based in Westwood, New Jersey. That is all SEO as well. Again, when you click Modera Wealth Management in that description there, it actually takes you to Modera's website. Again, it's all about SEO. This is actually a terrific opportunity to not only make yourself more visible, make your content more visible, but you're actually going to help draw more traffic to your website and help your own search engine rankings by doing this. And again, if you're interested in participating in this and being a contributor to The Street, you just send me an email. Let's talk about a couple PR opportunities that are you-generated. Pitch the media. Right? This is one thing that you all can do. You're all working with clients. You're all working with real people. Simply see what you're working on with them and then make the media aware of it. So, send story ideas to reporters you have relationships with. Send ideas to those you want relationships with. Send original or unique pitches. Again, like I said before, it's all about becoming a resource, not just a source. And what I would do is I would read the Feeling 24/7 module on PR, it's the first module, to learn how to do it effectively. Pitching the media is different than sending a press release. Press releases get lost. I mean, everybody uses press releases just overused. A pitch might just be a simple email you might send to, Jane Branquin. You might send to your local business editor saying, hey, look, you know what? I'm working on this current situation for this client in the local area, and I actually think that several people in our local market might be facing the same situation. Basically, you give a quick paragraph about what it is and give some bullet points that kind of supports what it is that you're seeing, and then you shoot it off to them. You'd be surprised at how well that could actually work. You could also consider writing for your local media. Print media is hungry for content. And especially in the local media. I mean, for the last few years, media in general has taken a major hit. I mean, a lot of them are cutting back on staff, but they know that they have to be writing and providing content on things around personal finance. But a lot of them don't have the capability to do it. So you can always position yourself as somebody who can do it. And the thing with local publications, you need to focus on a local angle. So it's not good enough just to say, hey, look, here's a big 401k story. 401k is kind of a global type issue. So how can you localize that story? So you got to think a little bit outside the box. Other low-cost, high-impact PR opportunities, you can create a blog. I'm a big proponent of blogging, and especially with the linkage to other people, to other professionals, and links back to you. Again, it's all about driving the search engines. Use social media. Send thoughts to reporters on what they are writing. If you are opening your local paper and you see a great article about an entrepreneur who's built a terrific business and they're getting ready to retire, yada yada yada. Maybe what you might want to do is send a quick note to the reporter who wrote the story, saying, hey, look, I think it's terrific that this guy did X, Y, and Z, but has he developed a succession plan? Here are the different steps for doing that. And then you just simply offer up to the reporter, hey, look, I'd love to talk to you more about this. I think that this might be a topic that more small business owners in our area might want to hear about. I mean, you can come up with 1,000 different ways to reach out to reporters just based on the content that they're actually writing right now. Try hosting an event with a media outlet. I mean, that could always go over well. I actually did some work with an advisory firm several years ago, and they did one on succession planning with a local business publication. And it actually worked real well. The thing is, you just don't know unless you ask. Try creating your own video library for your website. Create your own podcast. You can. I mean, there's a lot of free resources out there to create a podcast, to post it on YouTube, not on YouTube, but on iTunes and other places. So, and again, I know a lot of this might sound time-consuming, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm not saying you should do all these things, but you should consider the ones that you think could actually add to your bottom line, and that won't take you away from the things that are really going to be more productive for your business. Now, what I want to do as I close up here is I just want to say that, of course, I wish that we had the budget to do big billboards that would say, NAPFA, the gold standard in financial advice, or NAPFA registered financial advisors, financial planners, financial professionals you can trust. Or even TV ads that would say NAPFA registered financial advisors, financial professionals you can trust. The bottom line is we don't really have that budget. And granted, I would love to be able to do TV ads that said our members sell only one thing, their knowledge, unlike those greedy brokers. That's actually a little joke there. But I mean, we don't have the budget to do that. And that's why the members really become the foot soldiers. They become the mouthpiece at the local level to help communicate the value of fee-only planning. But I do want to say, and these are some additions that we did this last minute, but wait, there's more. First thing is Fee-Only Network. This is a free thing that is for NAPFA members, for NAPFA registered financial advisors. And if you just go to feelingnetwork.com/ and put in welcome, you'll go to a place where NAPFA members can claim their free profile. And every NAPFA registered, every NAPFA registered financial advisor has a free profile at feelingnetwork.com. And so if you just go here, you can click on Paul Dulce or Christian Coates or Greg Phelps or Anthony Agoric's profile. You can actually see what the profile looks like. Every member has a free profile on here. And then you can actually upgrade to a premium profile. That allows you to do more things with video on your profile and some other neat bells and whistles. But the cool thing is this is actually a structured partnership between Fee-Only Network and NAPFA. So everybody on here is going to be a NAPFA member. That's the big key. And this is all, again, about SEO. It's all about search engine optimization. This is going to help make Paul and Christian and Greg and Tony and any other NAPFA members on here more visible to to the various search engines. So take advantage of this. Again, go to feelingnetwork.com/welcome and go claim your free profile today. The other thing I want to point out is the ad campaign. Again, it's going on Clark Howard radio show. It's going on clarkhoward.com and on npr.org. We've got banner ads. We've got radio spots that are running right now. And so far, and this has been going on since April 2nd, but so far the early results are that it's going over very well. We've actually seen an uptick in traffic coming from those different resources. So that's a positive thing. What we've done is we made the various ads accessible for all of you. So these radio ads are right here. And again, you're going to go to member resources, and then you're going to go to market your firm and then ad campaign. You'll come to this page. You'll see radio ad, the story. You can click this, you can listen to it, or you can right-click on the story and then save it to your desktop. You can actually keep these 30-second radio spots available. What we also did is converted these radio spots to short 30-second videos. So we put a little visual context to each one of the spots. And these can also be, you go to youtube.com/NAPFA videos, you can actually embed these videos on your website. And then we can't scroll down here, but these are just 3 of the many banner ads that we developed that are showing on clarkhoward.com and on npr.org. And you can use these same things on your website. Finally, I just want to say, we're not going to take any questions, but let me go over here. Let me just say that everything I've showed you here is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the tip. There's so much you can do. There's so much more that we can do. So the idea is that we need to be working together to help elevate the NAPFA brand, elevate the NAPFA message, and then help you guys kind of take this message and take the importance of fee only and help communicate in your own local markets. And so I'm certainly going to be working, as is the rest of the staff, on developing new tools and new things that you guys can use in your markets, in your region, to really help communicate the value of NAPFA, help communicate the value of fee only planning. And I certainly invite all of you to reach out to me if you have any questions, any comments, you're looking for any kind of advice or any kind of assistance. Please do give me a call. My phone number is 301-963-7555, and my email address, again, is ben@bdlpr.com. And with that, that wraps up this presentation, and my goal is to create other presentations that we'll be able to add to a little library over time. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you so much.